Hello and welcome to the Bristol Herald Courier's new podcast. It's so new we don't have a name yet, but we'll remedy that situation very quickly. I'm David McGee. I'm the editor of the Bristol Herald Courier, and we're going to try to bring you some conversations with some folks that you may or may not know and talk about some topics that we hope will be of interest to folks in our area. And our first guest is the new mayor of Bristol, Virginia, Mayor Jake Holmes. Welcome, Jake.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. For folks who don't know, you're starting your fourth year on city council. You've been vice mayor a couple times. Tell us a little bit about who Jake Holmes is.
Okay. So as you said, I've been on council. This is my fourth year. Elected or chosen as mayor 2.5, 3 weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So still got the new car smell a little bit. But I was vice mayor 2 years before that, just a council member before that. Wanted to jump in and try to serve the citizens of Bristol. We've got a lot of issues before us, a lot of things going on, and I felt like I had some experience when I decided to run 4 years ago. Prior to being on council, I worked for Delegate Israel Quinn for almost 12 years. In my current day job, I work for Appalachian Power doing their community government relations type stuff. So I grew up in Damascus, just down the road. When I was growing up, I always wanted to end up in Bristol. Always came here when I was able to drive, ended up at the mall, that type thing. So it was going to happen at some point that I moved, and once I got married, my wife and I chose to settle down here. So
very good. Well, obviously, the new mayor, you have an item at the top of your list right now, as the longtime city manager Randy Eads announced that he was leaving a couple weeks ago to go to work for Attorney General Jay Jones. So kind of update us. What is the process for the city in terms of finding the next city manager?
Okay. Currently, we have an interim city manager with Tamara Spradlin. She was the assistant, so she stepped up into that role to cover while we're figuring things out. We've posted the job online as of a week ago today. We'll be accepting applications for the next week or so. I think February 6th is the cutoff for that. And then we'll vet the applications, narrow it down a little bit, and interview the top candidates and go from there. Tamara Ms. Spradlin will be our interim for up to 60 days. So we have a job to do quickly. We want to get it done right, but also want to make sure that the city's still functioning and still rolling, and making sure that all the roles are filled and nobody's having to cover too many jobs at once.
And obviously, Randy filled two roles as city manager and city attorney. So the position you're advertising is just for city manager.
That's correct. When Randy took on the two roles before my time on council, the city was in a very financially distressed situation. We're not out of the woods, but we're in a lot better shape. So it was a cost-saving measure at this point. We want to separate those roles. It's best to have those two separate so you can bounce ideas off each other, and just not that there's been any issues, but people always wonder, so you want to make sure you're given you're looking like everything's above board as well. So you give the best foot forward on that.
So one of the big challenges for the city for the last 6 years now, 5 years anyway, has been the landfill. There's been a lot of activity out there. Obviously, there are things going on. Can you kind of update folks on what's the status of the landfill right now?
So I don't think anybody could argue that there hasn't been significant progress. Nobody downtown right now, we're not smelling it like we were a couple years ago. So there's been a lot of work done. Gas wells put in place, the sidewall odor mitigation system around the whole rock quarry there to capture the gases that were escaping that was causing the worst of the smell. Overall, we've spent, I think, $39.3 million on the project, and 11 of that was from local funds. So thankfully, the state has stepped in and helped significantly on that. There's still a lot of work to do. It's not finished. There's still more wells. The settling of the landfill will determine when we can put the geomembrane cover on it, which will be a significant expense and job. So once we have that on there, there should be another big increase in the progress there. So we'll definitely be speaking with our state legislators and the state government to try to seek us additional help, so the 17,600 folks in the city don't have to continue to eat the cost of this.
You mentioned a moment ago the city being in financial distress about almost a decade ago now, and you have made progress, but obviously the city still has long-term debt issues. You still have some spending constraints. You want to talk about the status of that?
Sure. At the end of this fiscal year, which will wrap up in June, the city will be sitting at right at $90 million in general obligation debt. That is huge. I mentioned our population just being over 17,000. That's a lot for our citizens to bear. Um, you can talk about who made those decisions years ago, but it's our world now. We got to live with it and got to run with it. So we are making progress on that. We had to borrow some money for the landfill to cover things. We were able to pay off some of that debt early to save on the interest. So anything we can do to save money, not cutting corners, but to save money and focus on paying down the principal on that debt is vital. And we have made great progress. We talked about Randy Eads and Miss Spradlin, Tamara Spradlin. They have worked so hard over the last several years to make sure our finances are in order so we can tackle bigger issues that we've had to tackle.
You mentioned a big portion of the debt is tied to the Falls commercial development up at Exit 5. You've had some success stories there. There still are some empty spaces to fill. What can you tell folks about the Falls and kind of where we are right now?
Currently, the businesses we have in the Falls are doing well. I dropped a significant amount of money at Lowe's to buy a new washer and dryer the other day, so I helped them out. So they're doing well. Hobby Lobby, all the restaurants there are doing fantastic. We still need more growth. There's still empty lots. Our economic development team, Mac Chapman at the city, he's working on that, marketing the properties there. Don't have anything specific to share at this moment, but there's a lot of things in the works at the beginning stages being talked about. So I'm hopeful that you got to cast the net wide and hope you catch something. We're in the casting of the net, and we'll continue to do that until we catch something. And hopefully we'll get something that'll cause dominoes to fall and just multiple things will roll. So
it's just an ongoing thing, isn't it? I mean, it just never ends.
It is. That's correct. Yeah.
Switching gears, one of the hottest topics over the last couple of years in this area has been the housing market and the challenges that the housing market faces. What do you see going forward for Bristol, Virginia? And are there things that the city can do, that you all can do as a council to maybe help the process?
The housing need in the city is definitely huge right now. You hear of it in other localities all across the region, but definitely here in Bristol. We're landlocked. We can't annex, so we can't grow our boundaries. So we have to. I think the best answer is growing up a little bit. So anytime new properties are being developed, hopefully we can get some higher rise buildings, get multiple levels, multiple family homes in the appropriate places. You don't want it down in a neighborhood that's used to just single family homes. So we need to, as a city, find ways to make our zoning ordinances match that a little better, make sure that we're creating incentives that way so folks can better build up. And then two, just showcasing our city to other folks, to developers, to builders, like, hey, this is a great place for you to come and do some work and maybe bring your family and stay too. So hopefully just a multi-pronged approach. There's no one easy answer, but it's definitely, we need some housing growth here.
Another topic that has gotten a lot of attention from the city council and from the city and the residents of the city has been the former Virginia Intermont campus. And following the fire that destroyed several buildings up there in the end of 2024, the city has been involved working with the landowner and trying to make some progress there. What can you say about that? What is the situation right now?
The situation is kind of where it's been, unfortunately. The property owner has not been very cooperative, hasn't been very forthcoming with information. They have hired an attorney locally who is has communicated a little bit, but not anything of substance. And we're told that they have security up there, and then they'll go days without security up there, just trying to protect the property that's there. My wife was in the last graduating class at VI in 2014. When we were dating, I spent a lot of time on that campus. It's a beautiful place, and it's heartbreaking to see what's happening up there and what has happened. So we as a council, myself as mayor, we want to do something to make sure that we can preserve what's left, preserve what we can. And just when we hire the new city attorney, when we get to that stage, we're going to I'm going to push that we continue all the legal avenues we have, like Mr. Eads had been doing. Anytime they're behind on taxes, we push on that. Any leverage we can use to get them in line to do what they're supposed to, or to sell the property to somebody that will actually utilize it, we're going to do that.
Kind of related, but the city has dealt with an unhoused population that seems to be maybe larger than it was. I don't know what the numbers are, but that was blamed for part of the fire up at VI, and obviously there have been issues with downtown. Kind of where is the city right now in trying to address the homeless population? Excuse me.
That population is there's no one magic solution that would fix it where we are. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of folks to come together. On the city side of things, we've our new police chief, Byron Ashbrook. He came from Highlands Community Services, has a mental health background as well as the law enforcement. He's been a great resource to kind of understand the needs that these folks are facing and to better address them, getting the training for his officers. Officers are well trained to begin with, but also just making sure it's a little more specialized. Our downtown officers that deal with walking the streets directly, they've developed one-on-one relationships with most of these folks that have been here any amount of time. They know how to interact with them, know how to encourage them to maybe not do the bad stuff they're doing, to find a better solution to things. So it's really just a relationship building one person at a time on that front. And then two, going back to the housing piece, we need more housing. We need different levels of housing. We need to make sure that folks in low-income housing have the opportunity to move up to the next level, middle level, whatever you want to call it, and just make sure there's a kind of a ladder with multiple rungs that folks can kind of step out of, and make sure those resources are being put towards that.
Mm-hmm. Semi-related, I think we have seen some fluctuations downtown. That continues to, I guess, be a work in progress as well. You lost some marquee restaurants, a couple of marquee restaurants in the past year down there. Kind of what are your thoughts about the future of downtown and what we might be seeing in the year ahead?
I think downtown is honestly the biggest jewel we have in our city. Like it's a Hallmark movie at Christmas time. It's just the coolest thing. Both states meeting together, having just all the restaurant shops and everything. The folks that have businesses down there do such a fantastic job. I try to walk down and talk with them once in a while. It's been a bit, but they put so much into it. You can tell this is their passion. So making sure we're supporting the ones we have, making sure that they're getting the support they need. If they have issues, if they're behind on taxes, if they're behind on whatever, if they just need assistance, that they know to reach out to the city and just ask, what can we do? And we're flexible. We can help them however. And then also our economic development team, Matt Chapman, he's doing a fantastic job of marketing spaces we have, trying to get folks to come in. Quaker State is a good example. The Stir-Fry group that owns 620, they have own restaurants across the region. They do a fantastic job. I've never had a bad meal in any of their restaurants. They're going to put something in at Quaker State, and I think that'll be a good kind of kickstart to that area again too.
On the other end of the street, I guess, up Gate City Highway, Hard Rock Casino just recently celebrated its 1-year anniversary. Two-part question for that. In your opinion, has Hard Rock done what you all expected, what the city expected, what residents expected it to do? And then second part of the question is, do you anticipate there will be additional development in that Gate City Highway corridor?
Two great questions. Hard Rock has been a fantastic community partner. They every month they donate proceeds to various nonprofits in the region. I know I'm on the board at United Way. They've picked United Way a couple times. They've picked the Boys and Girls Club. They picked just several great groups. So they show that they're not just sitting out there on Gate City Highway. They want to be invested in the community. They've also partnered with Believe in Bristol to give out to guests that come the downtown gift cards that you can buy, and it'll encourage people to go downtown. There's so much to do with the casino and the entertainment that they have there, but they're getting people out in the community here. So I can't speak highly enough of what they've done to engage the community. And then as for development on Gate City Highway, I think it's coming. I think we've had a couple restaurants pop up there. We had a talk of a hotel for a little bit. I think that is not in the works now, but there's a lot of space there in a city that doesn't have a lot of space for development.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to see some good things there, hopefully very soon. And once again, Mac Chapman's working on that area as well. So.
And I guess my final question: you spent several years in Richmond working with Delegate O'Quinn. There's been a changing of the guard. We've got a new governor. The Republicans are in all the seats in Southwest Virginia representing this area, but it's the Democrats are in charge in Richmond. So as you look ahead to promoting the city's interests and asking for help on issues, what do you see? What's your crystal ball tell you about going to Richmond and getting the support that the city needs?
Well, anytime you try to predict politics, you're going to lose. It's just there's no way to know. But I will say that despite what you see coming out of Richmond, what you hear about, more often than not, those legislators work together on issues, and it's the ones that hit the news that are the big ticket items, the big knockdown dragouts, but it's everything else they work together on. So I think it will be very different. Our legislative delegation here does a good job of working across the aisle, so we can work with our folks here, work with others. And then several of us on council have relationships with legislators across the state. Our various day jobs, our various other affiliations, we're connected, so we can speak to just about anybody in the General Assembly and have a good conversation, I believe. And I got to say, most folks in the General Assembly, they're doing it for the right reason, even if I might agree on how they end up. But they're going to want to listen, and they're willing to listen and learn and hear our case. So.
And you know somebody in the Attorney General's office now.
Yeah, that might help too. Who knows?
Jake, I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to say about maybe the year ahead and you're looking ahead to 2026 and what's ahead for the city of Bristol, Virginia?
I think I just add that it is truly an honor to be on council and to be mayor. It's I love Bristol. It's like I said, I wanted to get here at some point, and I got here. I'm not leaving. I love it. It's a fun place. It's a town with a lot of spirit and a lot of history, and I think we can look back and appreciate it, but we got to look forward, and I think we're doing that. We got a lot of things on the horizon, a lot of good things happening. We got a lot of issues to work through, but we're making good progress, and I think we're gonna see some big things happen very soon. And it's as cheesy as it is, I'm gonna quote the sign. It's a good place to live, and I like it that way. So
very good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate you being our first guest.
I'm honored to be the first. Thank you.